Claude Sonnet 4.5 is here, and in today's video, I'll be doing a comparison between Claude Sonnet 4 and Claude Sonnet 4.5. Now, we have already went ahead and integrated Claude Sonnet 4.5 into WordRocket, so you can actually go ahead and choose the 4.5 Sonnet model. You can generate content using the same prompts, the same settings. You can get a real side-by-side comparison of the differences between the two models. So first, we're going to generate an article using Claude Sonnet 4. So how to raise money for my startup in 2025 is my keyword and my topic. I'm going to include a brand voice, which is going to customize and include my business information. We're going to leave the word count to 3,500. We're going to turn on first person perspective, stories, hook, interactive HTML elements, and we're going to generate 4 different images. So let's go ahead and click generate, and the content will be generated in the background. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep the I'll keep the settings exactly the same, but just change the model to Claude Sonnet 4. And again, we're going to go ahead and generate an article using the same exact settings. If we head over to the My Content section, we can see the articles being generated. I've done some test articles to really see the output quality. And here's the first article that we're able to get back from Claude Sonnet 4.5. So let me tell you something that might surprise you. I've watched hundreds of entrepreneurs chase funding with brilliant ideas only to crash and burn, not because their concept was weak, but because they approached fundraising like it was still 2015. The startup funding landscape has transferred dramatically, especially heading into 2025, blah, blah, blah. Key takeaways: multiple funding sources exist, preparation is everything, understanding the 2025 landscape. So step 1, build your foundation before you ask for a dollar. Bootstrap first, yes, really. So this, you can tell, is very, very personalized. Like, this really sounds like a human being that's writing your content, and it sounds really, really good, to be honest. So we get up to step 9, avoiding common mistakes. So common fundraising mistakes, the psychology of fundraising, special considerations for different types of startups, the future of fundraising, so different trends, your action plan. We get some stories included there, a conclusion, and we actually get a nice internal link here, and we get our HTML element. So overall, I would say that this is a pretty solid article. The images have been generated, and this is what our cover image looks like. How to raise money for my startup in 2025 looks pretty darn good here. And if we paste it into WordPress, we can see that this is a beautiful article. This is complete, right? Then we have a image around 8 main sources of startup funding. This is really good as well. Let's scroll down. So that's our second image. Our third image, funding stages from pre-seed to Series C. And our fourth image here, which is a perfect pitch check structure. So these images, in addition to the amazing written content that we're getting back, that's more human-like from Claude Sonnet 4.5, we can see that this is a very complete article that I would be confident would rank and would be very engaging for an actual reader. So startup funding, timeline, what to expect, and we get our conclusion here. Now, what I want to do is I want to actually go ahead and convert this code from 4.5 Sonnet. So we're going to include our custom HTML block here, and we get a startup funding and runway calculator. So you can calculate your monthly expense, your monthly revenue, current cash, target runway, and expected monthly revenue growth, and you can calculate your funding needs. So this is really good. As you can see here, this is a very visually appealing but engaging and relevant HTML element. So overall, I would say that this article is very, very good. In terms of word count, it is about 5,000 words because this has HTML elements. So a pretty in-depth article. Now let's compare this to the article that we got back using Claude Sonnet 4. So picture this: you got a brilliant business idea that could change the world, but there's only one problem, blah, blah, blah. Let's be honest, navigating the funding maze can feel overwhelming. We have our key takeaways. We'll take a look at our image in a second. So multiple funding exists, preparations, everything. So some of the content does look kind of the same, but I would say just from doing a quick glance, we don't really get that personable touch, that engaging tone that sounds like it's from a first person perspective, that has real like personality in Claude Sonnet 4 compared to Claude Sonnet 4.5. And the content is a little bit more generic. I've generated a lot of content using Claude Sonnet 4, and it often says picture this within its content. So I don't really like that too much, but let's go ahead and actually convert this into our website to see what it looks like. Okay, so here is our image here. So how to raise money for my startup in 2025. This is also a pretty good image. startup funding landscape in 2025. So the images I would say are pretty comparable. But again, I would say just content wise, I kind of like the content that we're able to get back from Claude Sonnet 4.5, but I really like this image because this is a really nice, realistic looking image. This is the HTML code startup funding calculator. So this also is pretty good, I would say. Calculate how much funding you would need and get a personalized recommendation. So in terms of a comparison, I would say when it comes to just the content, how it sounds, how human-like it sounds, and how personable it sounds, Claude Sonnet 4.5 definitely takes the cake. But when it comes to images and the actual meat of the articles, I would say they both touch on the topic. They're both very relevant in the content that we're getting back. But again, if you really want to take your content to the next level, then I would definitely recommend using Claude Sonnet 4.5. Again, as you can see, it's super easy to use it in WordRocket. We have it available. You can test it out in comparison to Claude Sonnet 4 and even some of the older models from Claude. Hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to try this out for yourselves, head over to app.wordrocket.ai. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.